Hi guys, this is JSNO.com and I'm here with the unboxing of the OPPO Find X9 Ultra, the latest camera phone from OPPO. We're here in Shenzhen, China, and check out the scenario. This is the OPPO campus here in Shenzhen. It's only 6 years old and they built this starting from 2020. So 6 years ago there was nothing here, and now it's a campus where you're doing the R&D and the tests for such handsets. Okay, so unveiled on April 21st, preceded by a ton of teasers and leaks. This is the phone to beat right now in the camera phone segment. It's definitely created to fight the Xiaomi 17 Ultra, Galaxy S26 Ultra and the future iPhone 18 Pro even. However, it has the largest optical zoom on the market. Yes, the 10x zoom is now back. After years of 3.5x, 5x or 6x zoom, we're back at the level of the Huawei P40 Pro Plus back in the day, or the S23 Ultra. The design of the back side and design of the sides actually remind me of a DSLR camera, and of course this ring here, while it doesn't rotate like the Xiaomi 17 Ultra, definitely looks like a camera as well. Now the phone has already been fired up and set up, and it's time to see what's in the box. Even though we're not getting accessories for quite a while now, including a charger. The phone, by the way, charges pretty fast at 100 watts with Super VOOC technology, and in the box we have the following. So a cable from USB-C to USB-A, a bunch of manuals and useful info like a safety guide. There's also this teaser for the watch and the OPPO Pad quick guide. This key used to access the nano SIM card slot. We also have eSIM, and by the way, the future is going to be all eSIM. Here we have an adapter from USB-C to USB-A. It's basically sort of like a dongle used to connect your older phone to your new phone, so you can transfer all your data, even though nowadays you can do it the iPhone way and just put the phone side by side and start transferring. Okay, so let's talk about the handset. Obviously, it's got a large battery and a protruding camera, perhaps even more protruding than the Find X8 Ultra. And keep in mind that unlike the Find X8 Ultra, this one will be arriving in Europe. You can definitely see two of the selling points here, the two periscope cameras. So as far as the measurements are concerned, this one, the Tundra Amber version, measures 9.10 millimeters in thickness. It's heavier than the Canyon Orange, which measures 8.65, I mean thicker, sorry. It also weighs 236 grams, which is heavy by today's standards, but it's a very long phone. That's what I noticed first, with the weight being distributed towards the top part. It's got certifications of all variety, IP66, IP68 and IP69 as well. No military certification, that has become something destined for mid-rangers maybe. Aside from that, it has 5-star drop resistance, SGS premium standard, so it should be pretty resilient if and when you drop it. Now, other things we're mentioning, the screen you can see here is a 6.82-inch AMOLED LTPO. The refresh rate varies between 1 and 144 Hertz. Resolution is somewhere around 2K Quad HD and very symmetrical bezels, 1.4 millimeter in size. It's a 10-bit panel, something that Samsung wishes it had. They're sticking to 8-bit this time around. Dolby Vivid and HDR Vivid are also part of the package. Now, we've covered the display. We can talk about what's inside the handset. Hopefully you should also be able to navigate in the settings and learn more about its specs. So we go here, we go to About Device, and here are the specs. 512 gigs of storage, Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 as usual for a flagship nowadays, and 12 gigs of RAM, supplemented by another 12. There are also versions with 16 gigs out there. Aside from that, the battery is a 7050 mAh unit, which charges at 100 watts via wire, and up to 55 watts, fast charging with USB PD, and also 50 watts Air VOOC wireless charging. Aside from that, Bluetooth 6.0 and 5G are obvious specs. The front camera is a 50 megapixel unit, no surprise here, and as you can see we have two 200 megapixel cameras. Now one of them is the main sensor, which is quite a solid one. So we're talking here about a Sony Lithia 901 sensor, 200 megapixel and quite large at 1/1.12 inches. f1.5 aperture is not f1.4 like S26 Ultra, but still pretty impressive, and optical image stabilization. The ultra wide camera sticks to 50 megapixel Sony Lithia 600 and has autofocus for your macro needs. Then we have an OmniVision telephoto 3x zoom camera, 200 megapixel in size, and I would say that the star of the show is the periscope, 50 megapixel Samsung sensor 10x optical zoom camera, and also a special sensor, true color sensor, 24 channel multispectral, 3.2 megapixels, all of the goods here. And that's pretty much it. The front camera has autofocus in case you're wondering, and as an extra we're also getting this button here. If you double press it, you're going to activate the camera, or you can also do other AI related things. The phone is filled to the brim with AI features. Actually starting to get accustomed to it. The smart sidebar, for example, is just coming in handy right now, but I'm sure you're curious about the camera interface, so let's start actually zooming onto something. By the way, this is the headquarters for OPPO here, quite impressive, and let's maybe focus and zoom on some plans. So this is the 2x zoom, 47 millimeters. This is 3x zoom. This is 6x, 130 millimeters, close to Apple levels, and this is a 230 millimeters, 10x zoom. It keeps pretty crisp, as you can see, as crisp as the 1x. Now, aside from that, I should probably mention that they're selling a special teleconverter. It can be attached to the backside, much like Honor and Xiaomi are doing nowadays. And AI also plays a part. Once you go past a certain level, you're going to get the help of AI to get clearer images, like those leaves here. This is 41x, you can go up to 120. This is the AI telescope zoom. Even though it's 68x and the leaf is moving, there will be some processing here that helps you keep the things more crisp. As you can see, this is 67x and still looks as crisp as I would say a 3x. Aside from that, there is a variety of features here. As you know, OPPO is working with Hasselblad. They've taken it over from OnePlus. We also have a special underwater mode. You can take photos and videos underwater. We have the expand mode, which has that classical look of, well, old school photos like a X-ray. That's what it reminds me of. We also have a pro video mode and dual video, and also document scanner, panorama, and exposure, time-lapse, and a sticker. There is a special Hasselblad teleconverter mode. They had a similar thing on the OPPO Find X9 Pro. And as far as the Pro is concerned, you can film in HDR Dolby Vision. We have here log support, so you can do colorization after you film. We have 8K capture and a ton of other features. Now, aside from that, we also have the Hasselblad high res. If you want to do something like a mosaic and use the full 200 megapixel resolution of the camera, it's taken much faster now than it was on the OPPO Find X9 Pro. I found that here. We also have a portrait mode. We also have the regular photo mode with a bunch of, I would say, scenarios, stage, silhouette, and fireworks. In the video section, there are these extras here. You have the special sound focus and ultra steady. Ultra steady somehow doesn't drop the resolution like Samsung and some of its rivals are doing. So usually when you activate ultra steady, the resolution drops a bit. Finally, we have master. Master allows you to spark your creativity, and you can restore the feeling of a classical camera with film-like effects. There's also the option to take RAW and RAW Max captures and JPEG RAW if you really want to mess with your captures, and also play around with the exposure, white balance, ISO, shutter, metering, and so forth. There's a lot to talk about for this camera phone, and as you can see, we have a dedicated button here, and if you swipe on it, just like on the iPhone, you can change the level of zoom or exposure or other things like that. Gamers get a game assistant. We also have a vapor chamber, which is quite generous here. Basically, this triggers a side menu which lets you customize the experience with GPU, CPU stuff if you're gaming. Now, aside from that, we also have the phone manager here. And of course, there's plenty of AI. So if I keep pressed here, I will trigger the circle to search. It should be here, I think. Or at least if I keep this pressed, you can activate the Gemini experience with Nano Banana, with the option to create music and more. Right now we're on a local network here in China, and I'm not sure how well Gemini will work, probably not. Now, aside from that, there should be AI features related to the gallery, app editing, photo editing, and of course there should also be features related to text writing. So here we have some options like the AI editor, recompose, eraser, portrait, glow, perfect shot, enhance clarity, unblur, remove reflections. We've known that from other OPPO handsets, and they're still here. Now, there's also the watermark here. You can do even a watermark on a video if you want to. And I promised you text. So if I were to go here to the notes, you can enhance your writing with AI. You can do block-based editing, quick edits, highlight text, and more. So if you're starting this, you get the AI writer. You can write anything, create social media posts, do polishing, format, and proofreading. Now, if you really want to get into the AI, there's a dedicated section here. You should actually log into your OPPO account and all will be fine. As I said before, we also have the Snap key, which is this key on the side, which can actually be associated to a mind space where you're going to store your screenshots, vocal notes, what have you, useful stuff, and you can also associate other things, much like the action button on the iPhone. On the OPPO AI, you find the mind space, the AI search, AI writer, translate, and voice scribe. Voice scribe basically turns an audio recording into text. You can also translate it or do a summary of what you have. And the AI service engine. As I said before, there's quite a few things to discover here, but being in China right now, not all the Google things are available, like Gemini, for example. Circle to search is also here, as you can see, and yeah, that is pretty much a summary of what we're getting. There are other features here. This is the app voice recorder. I can see here that we have an infrared remote, so infrared is part of the package, and we also have these files for translation, cloning the phone, and more. At the end of the day, it remains a camera phone with an impressive amount of zoom, 10x optical, 120x digital, and a lot of goodies, especially for the Lithia sensors and a special Hasselblad options and Lumo to take care of the extra processing, image processing I mean. You also have menu translation, bill manager with ColorOS 16, the 7050 OPPO silicone carbon battery should be generous for at least 2 or 3 days, and this button here is an, I would say, decent camera button, if not more. You have real-time loot preview and loot burn-in, and O-Log to capture with ACES, so yes, you can also do videography. That's that. This is the unboxing and first contact with the OPPO Find X9 Ultra. Goodbye.